All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah, glad to be back.
And today we are talking about something that I think a lot of people put off thinking about and maybe even put off getting, which is life insurance.
Yeah, for sure.
But we really want to dive into today not just why you need it or what it even is,
Right.
but how to make sure that you're getting a good deal and that you're not
Yes.
overpaying.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like that's something that can easily happen with life insurance.
It's one of those things where people kind of kick the can down the road and then they
Yeah.
end up, paying more than they should.
Totally. And it feels very, opaque to me, the whole world of life insurance.
It can feel that way, yeah.
So hopefully we can kind of demystify some of that today.
I hope so.
So I think one of the things that I always hear is start young.
Yep.
Save big when it comes to life insurance.
It's true.
But is it really that simple?
Well, it's kind of the golden rule of life insurance. The younger you are, the healthier you are.
Okay.
The less risk you represent to an insurance company, and so the lower your premiums will be.
Okay, that makes sense.
So if you're 25 years old, let's say, and you're in good health, you could get a really good rate on a term life insurance policy.
Okay.
And I'll talk about term versus whole life in a little bit. But,
yeah.
You could be paying, $20 or $25 a month for a $500,000 policy.
Wow.
Which is, a significant amount of coverage. But if you wait until you're 45 or 50,
right.
that same policy could cost you 3 or 4 times as much.
Oh, wow.
So it's really, it's like the opposite of compound interest.
Right.
You're losing money by waiting.
By waiting, yeah. So time really is money when it comes to this.
It really is.
Okay, so let's say I'm not 25 anymore.
Sure.
But I do feel like I'm in pretty good health. I could take care of myself.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything I can do to kind of lower my premiums?
Absolutely. So even if you're not in your 20s or 30s, you can still take steps to improve your health,
Okay.
which will be reflected in your life insurance premiums.
Okay.
So things like quitting smoking if you smoke.
Okay, yeah.
Losing weight if you're overweight.
Yeah.
Eating a healthy diet, exercising regularly, managing your blood pressure. All of these things can make a difference.
Because, how much of a difference are we talking? Are we talking like a couple bucks or?
It can be significant. So I had a client who was a smoker, and his initial life insurance quotes were pretty high.
Uh-huh.
He quit smoking for a year, got in better shape, and we were able to find him a policy that was 40% lower than his original quotes.
That's wild.
Yeah, so it really can pay off to make those lifestyle changes.
So even if you've been putting it off and you're like, oh, it's too late, it's actually not.
It's never too late.
That's good to know. Okay, so we keep talking about term life insurance.
Yeah.
But I feel like we should take a step back and just talk about, what are the different types of life insurance? Because I hear term and then I also hear whole life.
Yes.
But honestly, I don't really know the difference.
It's a common question. So term life insurance is basically like renting an apartment.
Okay.
And provides coverage for a specific period of time, typically 10, 20, or 30 years.
Okay.
And it's usually the most affordable type of life insurance.
Gotcha.
So if you're mainly looking to cover things like your mortgage or, provide income replacement for your family while your kids are young, term life is a good option.
Okay.
Whole life insurance, on the other hand, is more like buying a house.
Okay.
It provides lifelong coverage.
Okay.
And it often has an investment component built in,
Okay.
which can build cash value over time. But it's also significantly more expensive than term life insurance.
So how do you know which one is right for you?
It really depends on your individual circumstances and your financial goals.
Okay.
If you just need coverage for a set period of time, like until your mortgage is paid off or until your kids graduate from college, then term life insurance is probably the way to go.
Okay.
But if you want lifelong coverage,
Yeah.
and you're interested in the potential for cash value growth, then whole life insurance might be worth considering.
Okay.
But it's important to talk to a financial advisor to figure out what's best for your specific situation.
Okay, so now let's talk about shopping around, because I feel like with life insurance, it's easy to just be like, I got a quote, I'm just going to go with that.
Yeah, it's tempting to just go with the first quote you get, but it's really important to shop around, just like you would with any other major purchase.
Right.
Because life insurance rates can vary a lot from company to company.
Really?
Even for the same type and amount of coverage.
Interesting.
So you could be leaving money on the table if you don't compare quotes from multiple insurers.
So how do you go about doing that?
Well, you can use online comparison tools.
Okay.
Or you can work with an independent insurance broker.
Okay, what is that?
An independent broker works with multiple insurance companies so they can shop around on your behalf.
Oh, okay.
And find you the best possible rates.
Gotcha.
And they can also help you understand the different policy options and make sure you're getting the right coverage for your needs.
That sounds really valuable.
It can be.
Okay, so we've talked about, term versus whole life shopping around.
Uh-huh.
But how much insurance do you really need?
That's a great question, and it's something that a lot of people struggle with. There's
Okay.
no magic number that applies to everyone.
Okay.
It really depends on your individual circumstances, like your income, your debts, your dependents, your financial goals.
So, what are some things I should think about when I'm trying to figure out, what is the right number for me?
Well, a good starting point is to think about how much money your family would need
Okay.
to maintain their current lifestyle
Okay.
if you were no longer around.
Okay.
So you would consider things like your mortgage, any other debts you have, your kids' education expenses,
Right.
your spouse's income if they work,
Yep.
all of those factors.
Okay.
And then you want to make sure that you have enough coverage
Yep.
to replace your income
Right.
for a certain number of years.
Okay.
So, if you have young children, you might want to have enough coverage to replace your income until they graduate from college.
That makes sense.
Or if you have a large mortgage, you might want to have enough coverage to pay off the mortgage. So it's really about thinking about your family's financial needs and making sure that they're protected.
And is there such a thing as, too much life insurance?
There can be.
Okay.
If you have way more coverage than you need, you're just paying for coverage that you're never going to use.
Yeah.
So it's important to find that balance between being adequately protected and not overspending on premiums.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I feel like we covered a lot today, and hopefully it was helpful
I hope it
for people to kind of think about all the different aspects of this.
Yeah, it's important to be informed.
Yeah.
And to make sure that you're getting the right coverage for your needs at the best possible price.
So, you know what? Now that we kind of demystified life insurance a little bit, I kind of want to challenge our listeners to think about what other parts of their financial life could maybe use a deep dive.
Fresh look.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully.
So think about that, and we will see you guys next time for another deep dive.
Take care. Bye.